Good afternoon, you're watching your lunchtime news here on TV1 with me, Deshan Gonavala. We've got the very latest from here at home and around the world lined up for you today. But before we go into these stories in detail, let's first have a look at your headlines. President to send representatives to the United Nations to appeal that Sri Lanka should be allowed to handle its own problems. President says the current state of affairs may mean a general election comes first. Health Minister announces that steps will be taken to make annual health checkups mandatory. Farmers island-wide protest demanding high price for rice. Clashes shadow Brazil's Carnival. Now, in your lead story this afternoon, in the face of the budget proposal presented yesterday, speaking in Parliament today, MP Dasiri Jayasekara commented about the primary health sector in the country. The biggest crisis in this country is the problem faced by the people when it comes to the primary health sector. Although we have provided free health, and no matter how much the government is spending on it, the people of this country are not utilizing enough because of this problem. Although patients are being treated in hospitals island-wide, there is no proper system to do a health checkup. If there is a need, one has to go to a private hospital because the government doesn't do that. So a poor person does not have the opportunity to do a regular checkup. So we established the sewer divi centers. There we check BMI, blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol and thyroids. We will also conduct more tests. I also established 906 sewer nari centers, but the people do not come. So we will make it mandatory to conduct a health checkup once every year. Now, Minister Sajid Premadasa responded to questions raised by the leader of the opposition, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, about the film industry in the country.
The questions were infrastructure development of the film industry, technical services and the program to develop the industry. We have made arrangements to address certain shortcomings in the industry. There is no need to table it. This is for everyone's information. I didn't think you have put me to such low level. Honorable MP, this is not about the presidential election. This is about the film industry.
Now, the National Joint Farmers Association staged protests in different parts of the country demanding a set price for paddy.
The protest was staged by the farmers in Hinguragoda, Polonnaruwa. The protest was staged requesting to increase the price of paddy by at least 50 rupees. Farmers who belong to the Nilabama business staged a protest in the Janaseva Madhyasthana in the Saliwewa town in Puttlam. The farmers are requesting to increase the price of paddy. Another protest was staged by farmers at the 5th milestone in the Rajangane, Anuradhapura. They requested to give a set price for the cultivation of this season's produce and to set a control price for rice.
They have presented a budget and proposals to cover a lot of parties, but they have not considered the plight of the farmer. They say they buy the paddy at 38 rupees, but we must suffer to sell our produce at 28 rupees.
Attempts made by Newsfirst to contact Subject Minister P. Harrison proved futile.
Now, staying in your local news, the All Ceylon Wildlife Guides Trade Union carried out a protest in Kolpiti earlier today. The protest was held opposite the Tourism Ministry in Kolpiti. They opposed the reported recruitments done on personal biases. Now, President Maithripala Sirisena says 3 representatives will be sent to Geneva to request the United Nations Human Rights Commission to allow the country to solve our own issues. The head of state made this statement while meeting with heads of media institutions, adding that Dr. Sarath Amunugama, Mahinda Samarasinghe and Dr. Suren Raghavan will be assigned for the task in Geneva. The president also said this year is an election year, adding that while a presidential election may come first, given the current state of affairs, a general election could even come first. Commenting about the drug menace in the country, the president said the government will be investing in the world's best technology to fight drug smuggling. He also said there is a need to completely restructure the police department as many officers are treated unfairly, adding that the ministries which overlook the police department have politicized it over the years. The President emphasized that this needs to change immediately. Further commenting on the matter, he said that police officers rarely work for 8 hours as they often work for more than 12 hours at times without food or water. The President went on to note that he himself will totally restructure the department, adding that grievances of female police officers will be looked into separately. President Sirisena also said the number of Tamil-speaking police officers will be increased, not just in the north and the east, but in all other areas of the island as well. The head of state went on to note that the police department will be depoliticized and transformed into a modern police department that can serve the people better. Let's now take a look at the roundup of accidents that have been reported from around the island. A bus, a vehicle and a lorry crashed in Turuliya Sevana, Moragoda, Anuradhapura, injuring 2 people. All 3 vehicles had been travelling in the same direction. The accident occurred when the lorry attempted to turn to the right and the motor vehicle signalled, forcing the bus coming from behind into a collision. The police stated that the accident was a result of neglect. Both the driver and the lorry driver have been admitted to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. A lorry veered off the road in Alankulama off the Padeniya main road in Anuradhapura last evening. The vehicle that had veered off in such a manner was a lorry travelling from Colombo to Jaffna. The lorry had been significantly damaged as a result of the accident. A lorry carrying vegetables flying from Dambulla to Elambur on the Polonnaruwa Manampitiya main road met with an accident in Manampitiya last evening. Our reporters state that the accident occurred as a result of the driver falling asleep at the wheel. The 4 individuals who were travelling in the lorry at the time have all sustained injuries. Now 3 suspects have been arrested in Borolugoda in Mihintale while in possession of a stock of Kerala Ganja.
Police said the raid was conducted last night following a tip-off received by Mihintala police. 5.85 kilograms of Kerala cannabis has been taken into custody. According to police, the suspects are aged 29, 31 and 54. They will be produced before the Anuradhapura Magistrate Court today. Moving into your political news now, Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce Buddhika Patirana inspected the National Crafts Council in Palavatta yesterday. The Deputy Minister carried out a special discussion with officials at the council during his visit. We must put together all the plans today for the next 20 or 30 years of our future. I think about those who are 20, 30 and 40, those who will run this country for the next 25 years. It can be politics, education or even policing. It is young people who will hold responsibilities in the future. How can we build our country to that level? It is only if we do so that we can lift our country up.